AITA for showing favoritism for my daughter and financially hurting my son. My ex-wife 36F and I 36 meters have been divorced for 7 years now. We have twins, both 17, F.M. My wife Andy are the stereotype of high school sweethearts. I'm more of a geek. She was a cheerleader. My son takes after my wife and my daughter take after me. When they were younger, I gave them the option off allowance. They could either spend the money on what they wanted to or I could walk them through investments and savings. My wife was all for this at that time. We explained that they each have a set amount of money that we have put away for future schooling as well as a car fund. At first, both of my kids decided to invest it, and I started to show them how to and the risk involved. My son put his into a very risky investment, against my advice, and ended up losing it and decided not to do it anymore. Within a few weeks, my daughter started off rough but quickly got the hang of it, playing with different investments and companies. She has been in the positive most weeks. The issue is that due to this, my daughter has saved up more money than her brother. She also likes to spend most of her time over at my house vs my son over at my ex-wife's house. My daughter's interests are more minimalistic when it comes to most things and does not spend a lot of money. She will when she finds things she likes. She is not into fashion, rarely puts on makeup. When she does, it is very light, bought a used but nice car, etc. They just got their acceptance letters for college, and she will be able to pick any of her choices due to grades and her savings, plus our contributions. My son, on the other hand, spends most of his money when he gets it. Always has new clothes constantly, bunch of shoes, bought a new, very expensive car with payments, goes out all the time, and spends everything he gets. My son is upset because he can't go to the college he wants because he would need to get a loan, and with what I make, he doesn't qualify for much. My ex says I need to stop favoring my daughter and financially hurting my son and just paying for his college, among other things. Her and her side of the family are all calling me an aw for not paying, because you easily could. I told them that they had a choice when he was younger and he didn't listen. I also pointed out the fact that if he had saved his money, he would have also been able to go where he wanted. He needed to get a job to cover costs if he wanted to go. And life was about choices. TLDR, my daughter is more like me, a geek. My son is like my ex-wife, popular and materialistic, gave them an allowance and the opportunity to invest and save. Only my daughter did, and now my son and family are mad that I'm not giving him more money and favoring my daughter. Early ETA, I did keep asking him to try again throughout the years, but he didn't care. I gave up almost 2 years ago when he said he wanted to live almost full-time at his mom's house. We had an argument that made me back off. I didn't just stop and drop it when he was really young. Edit 2. We did not give him his college fund. He has enough money in his college fund that he can attend a community college for 4 years or a good college for 2. Nothing fancy or big. The money that was invested was allowance or sparring money. My daughter would use B-day money, Christmas money, allowance, or any extra chore money. I am not bragging, but I could send them to the best colleges for as many years as they want and fund their lives comfortably. AITA for ignoring my aunt and uncle when they came to my house as guests. I, 28F, live alone, away from all of my family members, working a job that has been my dream since I was a little girl. I have a pretty static lifestyle that includes my work, sports cars, my house and nightlife. My aunt, my mom's sister 50F, and her husband, essentially my uncle 54M, sent their only son off to college somewhere near the city I live in. They wanted to go see their son and asked me if they could stay over a couple of days and see me as well on their way. My mom also insisted I say yes, and so I did. They stayed with me for a week on their way to their son's city, and 9 days on the way back. While they were with me, I got up around 5:30 in the morning, did my workout routine, and left home at 7. I came back around 11 like I always do. My aunt said I could have managed everything much better, and that there was nothing in the fridge when they came to my house. I told them they could order anything they wanted on my account, and there was only food and water because that's all I need when I'm home. She also complained that I spent some nights away, which could be avoided, but I'm just used to my routine. Meaning girls I spend time with, sometimes I'm bi with a leaning towards women. That's why. My aunt also said I could at least spend one meal with them, which I did on the weekend, but other than that I've got work. After I explained everything, my aunt said I was being a rude host and that she wanted to see her niece in a much better condition. She even got teary-eyed for God's sake. I said I can of course strive to be better, but this is how my life is, and she came knowing this. She hasn't spoken to me at all since she went back other than a text saying thank you. My mom says I need to get my life together and apologize to my aunt. Was I an Edit. They were initially supposed to stay for 2 days each time, and they asked to extend the visit every night. There are a lot to see in the area I live in, and I have plenty of extra space, so I honestly didn't mind them staying as long as it didn't disturb my routine. AITA for walking out during my fiancé's birthday dinner over what my FMIL said. Throw away for privacy. I'll preface this by saying that I'm an introvert. Although I'm in my 30s and have 2 kids, I've always struggled with being social. I have to admit that it can have negative impact, but it's part of my personality, and I'm glad everyone around me respects that and understands. However, my FMIL, whom I met after meeting my current fiancé, tends to make comments about me being awkward or overly shy. She always criticized me for it, and oftentimes she would bring it up in front of everyone and make me feel anxious. My fiancé's birthday was yesterday. I'd put lots of work and preparation in order to fit in with the family and just be chill and normal. Everything was going well till we gathered at dinner table. My FBIL came to sit with us and pulled his chair too close to mine that our hips almost touched. I felt awkward. I got up and tried to pull my chair inches away from him. He didn't react, but his mom, FMIL, was watching the whole thing and looked at me and said, "Good God. You're so uptight, I bet you made your ex-husband put a sheet over you each conception," followed by a laugh. I was blown away. Completely. People actually laughed with her, and I felt so upset. I quietly got up and took my stuff and walked out. My fiancé followed me outside saying I overreacted and ruined his birthday over a joke. I was so upset we got into a huge argument, then I insisted to go home. He came back hours later yelling about how I ruined his birthday and made a scene in front of his family. He said he was sick and tired of my uptightness and that I need to loosen up and stop acting childishly. His mom called, and he's now refusing to speak to me unless I apologize to him and his mom for storming out like that, since his mom was just giving her opinion in a funny way, and this is how she is. AITA for insulting a lady? I, 30 meters, am currently in Canada with my 13-year-old adoptive sister. Our dad recently passed away, and SHES really worried about her bio dad in Canada. She's stressed out from bullies, school, and life in general, and her birthday is coming up, so I figured I'd give her some good memories. She got pretty worried whenever anything delayed us, and I had her calm herself down and really tried to enforce that everything was fine and the worst was behind us. Our flight got delayed, and she got really stressed out. I told her to do what calms her down, so she paced around and shook her hands. Her therapist calls it stimming. Something to do with autism. I don't know much about it. A lady grabbed her arm gently eventually and asked her to sit down since she was distracting her from reading. Here's the interaction. Me. She's just stimming. It helps her not freak out. Her. She should know better ways to calm down. She shouldn't burden everyone else. Me. She has autism. She doesn't process things the same way. Her. Oh. She's like, feeble-minded. Me. Not in the slightest. Her. But you just said she had autism. Me. Let's start over. Is there any way we could compromise? Her. I'll be honest. I think she can be a normal person, or get the hell out. Me. I've been nice, but I'm gonna be frank. You can go elsewhere or get used to it. You can read just fine. She's freaked out, and the least you could do, let her calm down. Her. Oh, okay. I could always get security. Me. So your plan is to call security on a 13-year-old girl for what exactly? Shut up, don't die on this hill. She stopped talking after that and let my sister calm down. My sister says I was a bit mean, but in all honesty I doesn't care and is glad she was allowed to calm down. I think I might have been too mean. AITA? AITA for not giving my fiancé a say. My fiancé doesn't drink, and he never really gave me a reason why. He just said he doesn't really see the purpose in alcohol or other substances and stuff. But it has never been an issue. He has never judged me for drinking, and he is the type of person who can have fun sober. Our wedding planner came to our apartment today to ask for details for our wedding, and my husband told me and her for the first time that he doesn't want alcohol at the wedding. This came as a shock to me, but I just told the wedding planner to hold off on that so me and my husband could discuss and plan other things. This was just the first meeting with the planner, and we are planning a winter wedding. When the planner left, I asked my husband why he doesn't want alcohol there, and he said there was no reason, and I said if there's no reason then we're going to have alcohol there. Then he told May's mom is an alcoholic, but she has been 9 years sober. I asked if his mom asked him not to order alcohol, and he said no, but he doesn't want her to feel triggered. I have noticed that his mom doesn't drink, but I thought it was a family thing. I have attended multiple family functions, most of which had alcohol present, and I have never seen her take a sip. I think that just speaks to her self-control. I told my husband that I don't think his reasoning is valid and brought up how he is going out of his way to do this when his mom didn't ask him to, and that she has amazing self-control. He got upset and said I was not giving him any say in our wedding and that if I couldn't even listen to him about this, then I should just plan the wedding by myself and have fun going to the wedding planner by myself. I feel like he is only thinking about himself. My family is big on drinking, and they are obviously going to want to celebrate me. Plus, we want a really fun reception, and I'm not sure if we can achieve that without alcohol. AITA here?